short. Okay? We're going to see this. If I take off my heels, I'm 5'3", okay? And I often get told how short I am. That is why I wore heels today, because I didn't want you guys to joke on me for being short. But I have always been friends with male athletes, tall male athletes. You think the big O-line dudes or tall basketball players or tall pitchers. I'm always the one person who's friends with them. And it's so funny because I'll be strolling across campus, walking with this big 6'5" O-lineman dude who's about 300 pounds, and everybody just laughs because I look like a complete midget. Now, it's okay. I've been short my whole life. It's fine. But recently, somebody pointed out how short I was. At Randolph-Macon, I take classes within the education department. And one of the components for an education class is we go into a classroom in Hanover and Henrico schools and do a thing called fieldwork. So we go sit in on a class and often teach a lesson. Well, this semester I was placed in an upper elementary classroom at Greenwood Elementary in Henrico, and the first week I was in 5th grade. Now, 5th graders have some attitude, let me tell you. They are very, very, very sassy. Typically, I'm with younger elementary, so this was a big shock to me. So, I always walk in, everybody says, "Are you so-and-so's mom? Oh, wait, are you Mr. Wilson's wife?" And I'm like, "No, y'all, my name is Miss Wax, thank you." And I explain who I am. So I get, "How old are you? Are you married? Are you a teenager? Do you have any children?" And then finally, the most popular one, "How tall are you?" So, I've never gotten this question before till I was in my 5th grade classroom. So I was caught off guard. Then, you wouldn't believe it. I'm standing, the students are sitting in their desks, and one of them stands up, this girl, this 5th grade girl, stands up, starts screaming, "Oh my gosh! Look, Mr. Wilson, I'm taller than Miss Wax! Wow, Miss Wax, you are short!" I was humiliated. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Wilson's 5th grade class, for making me aware of how short I am. But what I didn't tell them is my shortness has come in handy. Growing up, I would often win hide and seek or win in a manhunt game because I squeezed myself into places where nobody else could look. One time, we were coming home from youth group and I was squeezed into the trunk of my parents' car because my mom had agreed to take home too many kids, so I rode in the trunk. It was literally 3 minutes. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I rode in the trunk, and that was a moment that I would never forget. But I laugh about this story because Zacchaeus gets mentioned how short he was. And I personally, as a short person, gets very offended because oftentimes in the Bible, they don't say if somebody's tall, and they just say, "So-and-so met Jesus." But they say Zacchaeus, who was short. Okay, whatever. I'm getting off of my soapbox, stepping down about being short. But I sympathize with Zacchaeus because oftentimes I found myself with a crowd not being able to see. However, I am not as graceful as Zacchaeus, and I would not be able to climb up in a tree because I would probably end up face down in the dirt, making a fool of myself in front of Jesus. So I don't know how I feel about that. But do you remember singing a little song as a kid about Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus was a wee little man was he. Okay? So I think that song, while he's short in stature and short in character with being a tax collector, his character is something that sets him aside from everybody else. A tax collector in Bible times is somebody who not only took money from people, but also cheated them out of money. And we hear in the story today, when he repents to Jesus, talking about, if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them back 4 times that amount. The fact that Zacchaeus was a chief tax collector not only added to this disdain for being a corrupt man, but we read the story so quickly. We miss an important word in this passage. Let me tell you this. In verse 5, Jesus says, I must stay at your house. Now, if you have an in-law or if you have a friend coming into town, they typically say, I'm going to drop by or I'm going to visit. When somebody says stay, that means they're going to be there for a long time. And you better prepare that guest bed, you better make sure the extra bathroom is clean, and you have food in your house. But the cool thing is that Jesus doesn't start this off as a big sermon like he did on the Sermon on the Mount. He starts it off by a meal and a conversation. Instead, he engages Zacchaeus in community and communion and coming together. Zacchaeus was no longer a stranger or that tax collector guy. He was now a friend of Jesus. And that relationship was built, and he came to know Jesus personally. But I want to ask you this question. Do you think Zacchaeus would have come down from the tree if Jesus didn't call him? Do you think Zacchaeus would have come down from the tree if Jesus didn't call him? Zacchaeus knew he was a sinner, but he still wanted to see the Son of God enter into Jericho. Now a little Bible lesson. I'm going to put Owen back in the classroom. Jericho, I would say, is this. So today we have I-95, right? That runs through Virginia. I would say Ashland would be a Jericho because, now hear me out, you're traveling from Richmond, you have to pass through Ashland, okay, to get to D.C. or anywhere up there. Now, if you are ever in Ashland on a Friday through Sunday-ish, you will see a lot of out-of-state plates, a lot of athletes traveling for fall ball and things like that, either at the Wawa or not on Sunday, but at the Chick-fil-A, and they have no idea what they're doing, right? They don't pay attention to where you're supposed to go into the Chick-fil-A. They have no idea of, how to read signs, I feel like. But Jericho is so important to this story. Just like I personally believe Ashland is very important because it's the center of the universe. Anyway, Jericho is important because to get to Jerusalem, Jesus is coming from Jordan to Jerusalem. You have to pass through Jericho. So many people were there to see him. They knew Jesus was coming. But Zacchaeus went to see Jesus. Being a sinner, Zacchaeus went to see Jesus and went up in a tree. And honestly, I don't blame Zacchaeus for being in a tree. Obviously, he couldn't see. But if I was a chief sinner, and I am a sinner today, I would want to hide in a tree and hope that Jesus didn't come down. Because I know that man is going to put me in my spot. I would want to say that I would be in the front row, but I have to sit here and be honest with you guys and say that I'd probably be in the background. Knowing that the man that God sent is coming through the town would scare me because he knows everything about me. But the thing is, Jesus in this story shows that you cannot hide. You can't hide. You cannot run. You can try, but you're going to get tired. You're going to get tired of hiding. You're going to get tired of running. I see Jesus calling Zacchaeus down because Jesus is giving Zacchaeus the grace and the acceptance to not be a sinner anymore. I see him saying, it's over, Zacchaeus. You don't have to be this chief tax collector anymore. Your time is here. And where you get to be with me, then I get to cleanse you of what you have done. So would you come down from that tree? Would you come down from that tree? The beauty in our relationship with God is that God says, no matter what you have done, I am going to call you down. And I am going to be here. And to call you out of that tree, to forgive you for what you have done, and to walk with you every step of that way, or run with you, or hide with you. So I am saying, is Jesus telling you to come down today? Has he been telling you that for a long time? Have you been hiding for a long time? Friends, just hear this good news. It's not just you seeking for Jesus, because he's coming to seek for you every single day. A scholar says this: be brave and ask yourself, what criticisms could people make about you as good reasons of why Jesus shouldn't come? How would you stand your ground? What response would you make to that criticism? So if you come down, are you ready? Are you ready? Because it's going to be a journey. It's going to be tough. But Jesus is going to take you on that journey from Jericho to Jerusalem. And it's going to be beautiful. But I have to say this. While there's so much hurt in the world today, I have seen so many of my peers get hurt by the church or by people who claim themselves as Christians. But I'm telling you, if you come down from that tree, there are good things. Within the past couple months, God has used celebrities to show his glory and power through them. I don't know if any of you guys have been on Facebook, but there's been a post going around talking about the work that God is doing. God has used a famous pop singer, Demi Lovato, to show the people the power of baptism when she got baptized, rebaptized where Jesus was baptized. He used Justin Bieber to lead worship during one of his concerts attended by thousands and thousands of people. He used country singer Thomas Rhett to pray on live TV at CMA Awards. And then the recent events. He used this famous rapper Kanye West. I don't know if you know who he is. Kanye was the one who said, I am God, a couple years ago. But recently, God used Kanye to say yes to Jesus, and now he has this big album called Jesus is King. And he broadcasted this on a building in New York and a Los Angeles arena. Friends, things are happening today. So don't be scared to come down from the tree, because there are good things. And God is using people to show his love and his grace and his acceptance all throughout this world. It's time to say yes, my friends. It's time to calm down from that tree and to join in this walk with God. Amen.